Also, please remember, if you want to support the channel, go ahead and check out the description below this video for various ways to do that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so here we are. We are taking a look at the brand new X-Men Xavier School set. We are going to be doing a set review. We are looking at this through the lens of constructed play and 300-point competitive. We already did one video on the sealed environment for this set. So go ahead and take a look at the card that should be displaying right about now, and take a look at that video, because that's going to be important, because it seems like a lot of WizKids opens are going to be sealed events, or at least the ones around me. So it's going to be important to know how everything in this set stacks up in sealed. But as we all know, constructed's a ton different. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. Some of them I'm just gonna gloss over. Other ones are gonna be we're gonna talk about. For 50 points, if you're doing an X-Men theme team for number 1 Cyclops, he isn't bad, but there's better Cyclopses in this set. Marvel Girl has telekinesis when she uses it to make an object attack, either modify attack or increase damage dealt by +1. That's not bad, but mostly you have her on your team for TK. She's not bad. 50 points is semi-cheap TK, but there's a way better TKer in this set, so I'd kind of avoid her. This 60-point X-Factor Beast isn't a bad beast, but as long as the one from Uncanny X-Men is in Modern, this guy won't have really a place for him. He does have that X-Factor trait where he gets +1 damage for each 5 he rolls, which is good. And he has Leap Climb, which is a good power to have. And if he moves 4 or less squares after resolution, he can make a close attack. So he basically has full dial charge, which is pretty good. Outwit's always a good thing. 60 points for a cheap tie-up figure isn't bad. He's okay, not great. Next thing we have here is this Iceman. For 60 points, he has the X-Factor trait. He's not really that good for constructed. I like the other Iceman better. These X-trainees and X-students aren't bad, but they're not great. If you have, there's better uses of 25 points at the other dial, at the higher one where you get to pick. And at 15 points, your opponent's picking. And I would say at this point we have a lot of other 15-point figures that are better than these guys. So you know, if you want them for cheap X-Men theme, that's fine. But as far as competitive, I'd avoid them. Moira McTaggart is great. For 25 points, you just push her to the outwit, and then she has leadership, so she's automatically giving you +1 to your action total. And then she's giving you a free ID card, a free student ID card. As we have seen, there are a couple ID cards that she'll be able to, you know, have there that should be pretty helpful. But the outwit, she's definitely good to go for 300-point constructed. Next we have Moira McTaggart Prime. She's not great right now. I don't know if there's going to be something. If you can get a bunch of things KO'd, like if you can run a POG team and you know that a bunch of stuff's going to get KO'd, she might be worth running for that, so that you're basically getting a 40-point pick-a-power team with Perplex. But other than that, she's possible. It's possible that she's worth getting. She's only going to be a couple bucks anyway, so maybe try to pick one up. Artie's garbage. Sorry, that's just how it is. Husk is also garbage. You know, choose a free standard defense power she can use to choose power to her next turn. For 40 points, I mean, with all the outwits and stuff and constructed, it's just not worth it. The Cuckoos, they have stop clicks, which is cool. At 50 points, you're probably going to have some better uses. I like Mindy Cuckoo probably the best for the Psychic Blast and the charge. at the end of her dial that they all have, actually. But then you have this Phoebe Cuckoo, who has TK, which also isn't bad. And they have the X-Student trait. So when this character or an adjacent friendly character attack roll includes exactly 1/5, modify one target's defensive value -1. So that's kind of cool. I don't know about competitive, but if you're putting together a constructed team, worth having. Sync is choose a friendly character within range and choose a standard power that character can use. Sync can use the chosen power until your next turn. If the chosen character has the Generation X keyword, he may use Perplex in addition to the chosen power. So 45 points playing off your other pick a power figures isn't bad. He also has the Generation X keyword, which is, trait, which is move up to 5 squares, then make a close attack. So you could combo some things together with that. I don't know that he's great, but worth having at least one of for that. Then we have Anoli. She has the X-Student trait, or he has the X-Student trait. Then he has a special on his defense for his last 3 clicks, which is regeneration. When Anol uses it and heals 2 or more clicks, give him a transformation token. Modify his combat values +1 for each transformation token. Not very good. I don't care for it. Hellion's a must get. If you have a chance to acquire 1,000 of these, have 1,000 of them. This guy's great. He's 100% meta. Rusty's good in Seal, but in the vast spectrum of things isn't good overall. Skids, I would say isn't good, but if it looks like future sets, everybody has a 16 or 17 defense like this set, that 18 with defend might be worth having, plus barrier's a good power too. So maybe have one. They're going to be cheap enough just to have on the back burner in case you notice something with the stats in game, and she'd really pay for herself. Next we have Mystique. The UXM Mystique has ruined me for life, so no other Mystique can be as good. But she's not terrible, but not great. She has a special on her damage, her entire dial shape change. If Mystique is adjacent to an opposing character, she can't be attacked by non-adjacent characters. So not bad. You want to get in there. She gets +1 movement for that Brotherhood of Mutants team ability. Not bad, not great. Worth it for fun games. 50-point Beast is the X-Men First Class. Bouncing Beast Quake. When he uses it, either modify attack +1 or increase damage by +1. Not bad. Not great, not bad. Again, if you're running a theme team, might be okay. I wouldn't really worry about getting them though. This Iceman, the X-Men First Class one, I actually like. His stats aren't phenomenal, but he has this special on his attack, which is Incapacitate. When Iceman uses it, either modify attack +1 or after resolution, the hit target gains immobile until your next turn. It can't be moved or placed. I think that the giving out immobile might be pretty important. I try to get 2 of them. That way you have 100 points worth and you can alternate. I don't have a set team in mind right now that's going to be able to handle that, but I think it's worth having those. Next one we're going to look at is X Factor Cyclops. For 60 points, he's going to be good for a call-in to give you that leadership. Also 11 attack, Psychic Blast, 7 range. At least within the set seemed like a lot, so if it looks like ranges are going down, this might be a good call-in. Has that pretty good X Factor trait also. Jean Grey, leadership TK, 60 points, she's okay, not great. Has the X Factor trait. Cypher at 70 points has a stop click, which is pretty good. Then he, with Invincible, he has New Mutants trait. Then he has a special on his damage for his first 2 clicks, which is adjacent friendly characters and friendly characters within 3 squares with the New Mutants keyword have protected outwit. That's pretty good. I'd probably, since his lower point value is 35, I'd probably just spend 15 on Foggy Nelson and call it a day. But if you're running a theme team with him, which he has Hellions, New Mutants, and Robot, might be able to do something with that. Might be worth getting one of. Karma is bad. She's just bad. The triple target mind control is okay. I don't know that I'm going to worry too much about it. This Magneto is worth having. Everything with a Headmaster in sealed and constructed is worth having. Just the leadership alone on them is worth it. And he, also gives you that student ID card, gives you TK. Just a really solid figure. 20 defense at range. The Prime Magneto, I want to say is good. There just aren't any good Hellfire Club members to pair him up with right now in Modern. And I don't know how many X-Men or New Mutant keywords you're going to face in Constructed. So if you can get them on the cheap, I'd try to get them. Otherwise, I wouldn't worry about it. Leech, I'd have at least 2 or 3 of these guys laying around. You're allowed to have more than one. He's not unique. And he has Outwit, and then each time he uses it, if the target was within 4 squares after resolution, he can Outwit again, targeting a character not already targeted by this Outwit this turn. By his Outwit this turn. So it's basically UXM 100-point beast in a 30-point package. And he also, if that wasn't enough, has the lockdown trait. Whenever a character would be given an effect that allows it to choose standard powers to use, you may first choose a standard power. This turn, that character can't choose that standard power you chose. So if you have 2 or 3 of them on a team, you can be like, and you need somebody to stay in base, you just tell them, okay, you can't pick Leap Climb, you can't pick Phasing, and you can't pick Hypersonic Speed. Or if it's a something where they need to pick Perplex, just tell them they can't pick Perplex. This Leech is a big deal. Everybody knows it, but I figured I'd reaffirm that. Mercury is not good. Jubilee's okay. Energy Explosion, when Jubilee uses it and hits, modify all hit characters' attack and defenses -1 until your next turn. Now, her stats aren't great at a 10, but we can always get those up. And she has dual target, so she can target 2 separate characters, hit them both, and they get -1 attack and defense until your next turn. 50 points. Maybe situational with the ID call-in, but I'd get one just to play with. Mondo suffers from the same thing that all close combat characters suffer from, where this is really a ranged game, so you got to bring something other than just being a close combat guy. Like Beast brings Perplex or Outwit. Mondo doesn't really bring anything other than being a beat stick. Then we have Penance. Okay, not great. Battle Fury means you can't carry her. The Blades Claws Fangs is cool. Okay, not great. Then we have Skin, Plasticity, and Giant Reach with the built-in Generation X charge. Penance had it too, so again, okay, not great. Surge is not very good. No reducers, no running shot, no nothing. Has hypersonic speed, but she's so squishy, and that 3 damage in Constructed is really not going to help too much. Then we have Ouya. She has improved targeting. She has X-Student trait. Then she has heat transfer. When Ouya hits 2 or more characters with range attack after resolution, deal 1 penetrating damage to one and give the other one an action token. It might be possible to run 2 of these in tandem. She has all new X-Men and X-Men keywords, but if you were able to run 2 of these in tandem and get that attack up to a reasonable level, you could lock down most of a team. Where you hit 2 characters with one, you assign one an action token and give the other one the click of damage, then you hit with the other Ouya, and you just flip-flop who gets the token and who gets the damage. And it might be a good way to keep your opponent locked down. So next we have Kitty Pryde. She's phenomenal. She has the Headmaster keyword, or Headmaster trait, which automatically makes her somebody you need. Then she has this special on her first 3 clicks, which is Phasing Teleport Stealth, when friendly characters can move through walls adjacent to Kitty Pryde. That's going to be a big deal. We'll see if WizKids, backtracks maybe and says that you'll be able to phase through squares of blocking terrain, in which case she's going to be 100% meta, at least as a call-in, because you can call her in with both the Sprite and the Kitty Pryde ID cards. Next we have Angel. Again, if you want them for theme, that's fine. Otherwise, don't worry about it. This Storm's good. Leadership, she has the Headmaster trait, so she's an automatic get. Flight ability, Passenger 3, but only to carry characters with the X-Men keyword. That all by itself is enough. She's just a support guru. At 50 points, she's got TK. If she's on a X-Men themed team, you get your leadership no matter what, but then you're perplexed for your other X students, plus the student IDs. Darwin's a must-have. Just get the one because he's unique. And he's just on here for the I can adapt so much faster than you trait, which is whenever another character uses an effect that allows it to choose one or more standard powers to use. After resolution, deal that character 1 unavoidable damage. And then he has these 2 stop clicks at the end of his dial. Now, a lot of people are throwing out there, there's retaliators that can take him out. It remains to be seen, if people don't play those retaliators, regardless of whether they're out there or not. If they don't play them, you can play this. There's plenty of examples of things that took out whatever it was that was popular, just not showing up because it was weak to other stuff. So, we'll see. All new Wolverine, not bad for a close combat person. 100 points is a little pricey, but you do get the Jonathan token with it. So if you can get her on the cheap, get her. Professor X 37A, I would get for the Headmaster trait alone. He has Outwit. I would not worry about getting the Prime version. Seems like the Primes in this set are just overall weak. This Magic is a must-have. She has just a generic Phasing Teleport Passenger 3. And then she gets a Corruption token afterwards. So no matter keyword, she can carry 3 characters. Then she has a special for Blades, Claws, Fangs, and she gets another Corrupt token. And then, if you push through all that, she gets 2 clicks of PC, which is always good. She has New Mutant's trait where she heals up if she's adjacent to another New Mutant. I don't know how often that will happen, but it's a thing. This Sprite actually isn't too bad at 50 points. I like the other Kitty Pryde better, but if this is the one you have, she's pretty good. She has 18 defense, which is pretty high for a 50-point figure, with super senses, exploit weakness, charge. Then she has a special on her attack, which is when Sprite moves through 1 or more opposing characters after resolution, and once per turn you may roll a d6, 5 or 6, give one of those characters an action token. So pretty cool. You get to attack and then also make your attack. Banshee for the Headmaster trait alone, again, is worth getting. Then he has a special on his attack, which is called Leave Your Ears Ringing. And it's when Banshee hits an opposing character of less points within range after resolution, give the character an action token. In Constructed, it's 75 or 50 points. I don't know how many characters are going to be below his points. Chamber's just not good. Let's see here. I wouldn't worry about. She's fabulous and sealed, not great in practice. If you need to use her, like you're running Generation X or X Factor, and you want her for this genius intellect, maybe run her at 50 points. Other than that, I wouldn't worry about it. Icarus is bad. Rock Slide's not great either. Brew at 50 points might not be too bad. At 25 points, I'm running the Moira McTaggart instead. Gold Balls has some potential because we have had characters released in the past that worked off of light and heavy objects, and he spawns them for 45 points. Might be worth it. Prodigy at 30 points gives your team Outwit, so that's pretty cool. And then he's got 2 clicks of support at the end of his dial. He has a trait which is Knowledge Sponge, and really the real reason to have him. Once per turn, when an opposing character uses an effect that allows it to choose standard powers to use, you may choose a friendly character. Prodigy and the chosen character can use the standard power until the end of your next turn. So if you use like him with Cypher, I think that'd be a pretty cool combo. He's not going to win you a game, but if you have you know, characters that are picking, you know, lots of Perplexes or PCs or something, then all of a sudden you're getting PC and Outwit or Perplex and Outwit for 30 points. Might be worth it. Fat is not that great. Professor X, trade him away as soon as you can. He's terrible. Magneto Realist is worth getting. I'm going to be working my tail off to make sure I have one. I wouldn't worry about his -9, but his +1 and -2 is definitely worth the price of admission. 100 points is a little pricey. Makes a decent first tier attacker, but he doesn't ignore anything. Definitely in fun games he's going to be a load to deal with. 300 point constructed, you're going to have to try a little bit harder. I got some ideas for him, but I'd try to get him. This 60 point Angel, and he also has a 50 point dial, is pretty good. I would try to get 2 of these for the financial backer special on his damage. And it's free. Choose an adjacent friendly character with X Factor keyword. If that character has 1 action token, heal it 1. If that character has 2 action tokens, remove 1. So let's say you had an X Factor Cyclops with 2 tokens. You could use one of these guys to pull one of the tokens off, and let's say he took a click. Then since he has 1 token, you get to heal him 1 also. So might be fun. This Cyclops, I would try to get 1 if for no other reason than the call-in. I would never play him at 150 points. He's just too squishy. You know, not really having anything discernible on his defense. I'd only play him at 50 points. He's phenomenal at that. Has the Headmaster trait, which makes him somebody you need anyway. This Wolverine's one of the only figures in the set where I would say play him at his full points. Has the Headmaster trait again, which makes him phenomenal. Has a stop click where he has regen. Just pretty beefy up front here with that 12 attack, 18 defense is really high for the set. In Dom, just those stop clicks sprinkled in 1, 2, 3 stop clicks. Gonna be a little rough. Worth having. Gateway's a must-have. He can carry 8 figures. That's all you need to know. You know, even if they have to end their turn right after he carries, you carried 8 figures. Like, that's ridiculous. And it says he can carry characters with the wing symbol or Battle Fury if he shares a keyword with them. He has Generation X, Reavers, X-Force, X-Men keywords. So within the set, he might be able to do that, but outside of it, I doubt you're going to get too much out of the Battle Fury wing symbol, but it's something that might do. And it says, you know, if he carries 2 or more characters, that's when you have to end right after you carry. But he has 2 clicks of PC. Definitely worth getting 1. I don't know about getting 2, but definitely have 1. The more I look at this old man Logan, the more I actually like him. He's only 75 points, has a 12 attack, 17 defense, but a 19 up close. And he also has Empower for adjacent friendly characters with less points can use combat reflexes if they can't already modify defense +1. So pretty good for 75 points. I don't know that I'd go out of my way to get it, but not bad. And at 75 points, I'm not sure if the Wolverine ID card references his name as just Logan or if it goes James Howlett. So maybe in the comments below, let me know what that says. Alright, so next up we have Dust. She is definitely a must-have. She's unique, so you only need one. She's just phenomenal. For her Scouring Sands trait, which is Smoke Cloud is free, but I only place 4 markers, which is phenomenal considering that most free action Smoke Cloud is 1 marker. At the end of each opponent's turn, deal 1 damage to each opposing character occupying or adjacent to a Smoke Cloud marker placed by Dust. So you can just hand out all kinds of damage to all kinds of characters. Especially if you put it under them, you're giving them -1 attack also, which is just great. The next thing she has is special on her defense, which is Swirling Sands, which is Super Senses. Dust modifies defense +1 for each adjacent Smoke Cloud marker placed by her. So what you would do with her is you just run in adjacent to hopefully 3 or 4 characters. You would put the Smoke Cloud markers under each of them to give them each -1 attack, and that would give her a +3 defense, getting her up to a 20 defense with Super Senses. She's crazy. Let me see here. Kid Gladiator. Right now I'd say he's okay, not great. I wouldn't worry about playing him in the lower point value of 70 points. He does have the Cosmic keyword though, so low point Cosmic figures tend to be the premium. Now that you are in Constructed, probably going to run a new couple figures that can outwit him. He does get, when he KOs an opposing character, modifies combat values +1 until another friendly character KOs an opposing character. So it's possible to have, top dial, 13 movement, 12 attack, 18 defense, 5 damage. So that's pretty good. 120 points is a bit of a heavy investment for me. Next up is Magic. She has a special on her movement, which is phasing teleport, stealth, free, roll d6, place magic up to that many squares away. So since she's being placed, that doesn't count as a movement, so you'll still be able to attack either at ranged or close, which is good. 115 points is a bit pricey, but if you are using her with the other magic, the uncommon one, I'd say she's pretty good. Next up we have the standard super rare Emma Frost. Again, I'd say get her just for the headmaster trait, for the leadership and the ID card and perplex. She's not great herself, but at 50 points, I mean, the leadership and perplex and ID card alone for theme teams that have to do with her keywords worth it. And the Colossal Stamina, I don't think you're going to get that much out of, if I'm being honest. Then we have the 100-point Super Rare Prime. Again, she has the Headmaster trait, so I would try to get her, but do not overpay for this. She's not that good. She has Mind Control, Sidestep, and Stealth for a special on her movement. Then her special on her damage is Empower Enhancement. When White Queen uses either power, she can instead affect friendly characters within 3 squares if they share a keyword with her. So she's basically handing out +1 damages for ranged and close combat, which isn't bad, but at 100 points you're going to want more than that. At 50 points she's much better. I would consider just pushing her, if I didn't need that outwit anymore and I really needed to start dumping things in damage, push her, and then I'd have Perplex, Leadership, and Enhancement and Empower. Venus de Milo is just not that great. There's nothing too much to say about that. Just her attack is pretty bad. She's pretty expensive. Just not a fan. She does have this Pinpoint Teleportation, which is Passenger 2 free. Remove any number of headline tokens to use telekinesis that many times at no cost. This may be in addition to a normal use of telekinesis. Then she has Headline. When Venus de Milo hits one or more opposing characters after resolution, give him a Headline token. This includes hit characters with TK. So anytime I thought it was a she, but I guess it's a he, hits, you get a headline token, then you remove two, or remove a headline token, you get to use TK free, however many headline tokens you're able to take off. Then we have this Angel, 60 points, giving you Perplex. This is a chase one. They all have this Survivor of the Age of Apocalypse. I'm just generally not a fan of things that trigger off when you got hit or KO'd. That normally means something bad has happened. So I'm not going to use him in a game planning on, you know, hopefully if I'm playing well and my dice are good, I'm never going to use this trait. Then he has Sidestep, Stealth, Shape Change. He's okay, not great. I wouldn't worry about these. Dark Beast is, again, just not that great. This Cyclops at 100 points would be a relatively solid call-in. Even at 60 points, although at 60 points, I'm saving 10 points on that call-in and calling in the super rare version. But this one can get up to 5 damage. So it just depends on how much your damage output needs to be. This Iceman, hunt him down if you can. There is an Iceman ID card, so for 60 points you can get a Pulse Waiver with Sidestep. So you'll have to get out of the way a little bit, but then you'll also get an Ice Clone once he goes away, which is cool. This Jean Grey I would also make an attempt to get because of her free TK. She's not terrible. She's not as bad as I thought. You can play her at 90 and 60 points. I'd consider 60 points more. This Mr. Sinister is terrible, and I would worry about getting the ID cards of the figures I said were good, and not worry about the ID cards for everybody else. I would make sure to try to get a Sprite and a Kitty Pryde ID card, since you can use both in a game and use that Kitty Pryde that can go through walls, and friendly characters can twice in a game, which I think has some pretty cool implications to it. Alright, so that is all I have for you today. Let me know what your favorite figure from this set is to use in Constructed, and we'll go ahead and talk about that in the comments. As always, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.